Hey everybody, Dominic here. So one of the things that we've been seeing people use more and more is video as a means for students to submit assignments. And that's great. Video is a fantastic way for students to demonstrate their understanding of learning content. And it's a great way to bridge the gap when we're all working remotely and conducting instruction online. But video does bring with it new potential complications, and we've seen that where some students have really struggled to either record video or submit a video as an assignment. And so I want to just give you a few quick tips to help reduce some of these problems when it comes to students recording and submitting videos in their course. So my first tip is for students to check their device's camera settings. Now, what I'm really referring to here is that whether students are using their smartphone or an iPad, built into that device are settings for the camera app that comes with the device. And those settings will allow them to change the resolution of their camera, the resolution of the videos that they record with their camera. And generally what we want to do is go in and check those settings and make sure to bump down the quality a bit. And the reason is if we have an increased quality, an increased resolution, that's going to increase the file size of the videos that we create. And a larger file size means that uploading those videos into Canvas or Canvas Studio is going to take much, much longer. The longer that those take, the more opportunity for things to go wrong. And honestly, if we record a video at 720p, odds are that's going to suffice for what we need. We don't need to be recording videos at 4K. We don't even really need to record at 1080p. 720 should suffice. And it should be a setting on most devices. I'm going to put some information on the screen right now that just goes over how to set your video settings for different devices. Now, unfortunately, given how there's so many devices out there with so many different versions of operating systems, I can't guarantee that this information here is going to cover all devices. However, this should cover most of them, hopefully. So you can share this information with your students and encourage them to go into those settings and make sure to bump down the quality to 720p. It's going to make the file size much smaller. It's going to make it much easier for them to upload and share those videos. So that's my first recommendation. Second recommendation is, I mentioned earlier, the Builtin Camera App. I would recommend that students record their videos using that built-in camera app on their phone or tablet. This is as opposed to going into Canvas Studio on their phone or tablet and recording in studio. We've just seen where sometimes some quirky issues can come up, and unfortunately sometimes students will lose their videos. Whereas the camera tool that comes with the phone or tablet is built for that device, and it works very reliably. And so the student can record their video using their normal camera app. And when they're done, they hit stop, that video is saved on their device in their gallery. And so then they can upload that video to Canvas. And if the upload fails or something happens, well, the video is still there on their device. So that's the benefit of using that built-in camera app. So that's one thing that we would encourage. The next thing is to keep videos short. Now, I know that we talk about this all the time, but for students who have varying devices and unreliable internet, it's really important that we keep videos short, once again, to keep the file size small. So 5 minutes or less is very much preferable. And if you have students that need to do a lot more than that, then try to have them chunk it out. And I know that's not always easy, but if we have students trying to record these 20-minute long videos, there's so much opportunity for things to go wrong. And along with that, make sure that students check the storage space on their device, and they might need to clean up some space to make room for these videos. But try to chunk those out. Let's not go over 5 minutes. Just keep in mind, if we go higher than that, there's more opportunity for things to go wrong. And then number 4, the Canvas mobile app is nice for viewing content, but what we've seen is that if you have students who are trying to submit stuff and do stuff with the mobile app, it can run into a lot of issues, unfortunately. It's not great. We really wished it would do a better job with some of these things, but it just sometimes doesn't perform reliably. So when it comes to submitting videos, our recommendation is for students to pull up the web browser on their phone or tablet and go to Canvas that way and submit their videos rather than pulling up the mobile app. We just found that this works more reliably. Now, looking at Canvas through Chrome on a smartphone is not a very pleasant experience because everything gets scrunched up into this small screen. But it just tends to be more reliable when it comes to uploading videos either to Canvas or to a Canvas assignment. And so we recommend that students do that. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that sometimes for some phones, they will default when you go to Canvas to open on the mobile app. Like they won't even give you the choice. They'll just say, oh, you got the mobile app, I'm just going to open it on there. There are settings in phones that you can tell it to not default to do that. Unfortunately, that's again where the instructions that I can provide you are going to be different for every phone and every operating system. So I can't really give you reliable directions on how to prevent it defaulting to the mobile app. If worse comes to worse, a student could just uninstall the mobile app and then go to Canvas on the web browser, and that'll solve the issue. But again, I mean, we just find it more reliable to go through the web browser version of Canvas, at least when it comes to things like uploading videos. I think the mobile app is still great for browsing through course content, but that's something that students should try if they're running into issues. So we think video is a phenomenal way for students to demonstrate their learning and to take part in very engaging learning activities. But if we're going to use video, we have to think about some of these best practices for it to be as reliable and hassle-free as possible. So I hope that was helpful, and obviously reach out to CPD if you have any questions on using video in your course. Thanks for watching.